So tonight, everybody, we are doing a couple of free-to-play builds. I got some help from a couple of guys in the fleet, primarily Timper, who has put together a energy weapon build using everything. And with both of these builds, you don't need any Zen whatsoever. Now that
Zen or
is
Lobi.
or Lobi, and that is the little disclaimer there I guess would be is there are some items in here that were from events. However, those items were for free, so this may not apply to you if you just started playing yesterday or last week. But if you've been playing for a little while, most of this stuff will be free to you.
And if you do not have this equipment, feel free to reach out to me, Stronghold or Timper, for suggestions of alternatives.
Exactly. So, without any further ado, I am going to switch over to Temper's build. He's got his stream up. We're actually streaming his stream, so this is a new experiment. And he is going to talk to us about his Pew Pew Canoe.
Well, good evening, everyone. Start out. Strami asked me to help out with this one, and man, I've been playing STO since day one, and I put a lot of time into putting very little money in the game. So I want to help you guys make the most of what you got. So I put together for you is the USS Pew Pew Canoe. This is a 100% zero Zen build. It can all be done with EC. It can be done with dilithium, and it can be done with mission drops. Make sure you're, looking back on any events or anything like that that you've completed. Maybe there's unclaimed gear or something like that in your event store reclaim tab. But I went set the following rules. I went back 1 year on events. I tried to set my EC cap at about 500 million, which can easily it takes a grind, but it can easily be accomplished in a year. And tried to limit the dilithium as much as possible. So we're starting out with the Fleet Norway Command Strike Escort. It is a really, really nice ship. We'll start off the stations on that one. You see, you got the Commander Tactical Command and a Lieutenant Universal Intelligence. Um, Makes for a nice little combination. It allows you to get certain uncon triggers in there, as well as giving you some nice little bonuses to go with that you get out of your command abilities. We'll work over traits next. Personal space traits. Now, you're kind of looking at this going, man, what's all those space traits going on there? Well, all of these space traits may have come out of a lockbox, but most of them are for sale on the exchange. This is probably the most expensive part, but we're anywhere between about 35 and 50 million for the personal space traits. But I got a couple of them in here that I really like to have if you're running TFOs, Fleet Coordinator, get that bonus damage from just having teammates. And available if you are part of a fleet is the Superior Cannon training. You get that from the K-13. Nice little upgrade to get there. As far as starship traits go, every starship trait on here was either purchased off the exchange or came off of an event ship in the last year. So we got things like carrier wave shield hacking, pilfered power. Piggyback launch tubes came off the Typhoon, which was a recent event ship. Running the onboard dilithium recrystallizer. Our Confederation Furrier. I personally like unconventional tactics. That one is actually from I believe, Strom, remind me, which one does that come off of? Was that, I know it was one of the specializations there. I believe was that command officer
It
specialization?
it may be. I know it is
Oh, but
one
yeah,
of
it's one of
the
the specializations. And the other one you're seeing is Withering Barrage. Now, Withering Barrage, a lot of people are going to go, well, that's off a T6 ship. It absolutely is off a T6 ship you could buy in the C store. However, if you recently did the Klingon recruit, there are some little things that you could do in that comm beacon that you get. And one of them gives you a free tier 6 bird of prey. And the trait on that free tier 6 bird of prey is the Withering Barrage. And once you've unlocked it on your Klingon recruit, it is completely account wide unlockable. You can get it on any character that you have. So it's 100% free trait that's normally off of a Zen ship.
And
Um,
it for this build, it is
absolutely
very
necessary.
necessary.
Absolutely
So
necessary.
yes.
Space reputation. Now, this is, obviously as you get your reputation leveled out through tier 6 on everything. I've gone with Tyler's duality. Just gives you that little extra crit chance based off your hull strength. I go with the chrono capacitor to bring down my bridge officer recharges. I love having bridge officer recharges as close to 0 as possible. It just makes everything that you do a little bit easier and a little bit better. Gone with precision to give my critical hit chance another little boost. We take the enhanced rending shot. Now I like this one because it increases your critical chance by 1.9% up to 10 times until a successful critical hit when it restarts. And my magnified firepower, which is a 6.3% bonus weapon damage. So that's a Cat 2. So it's not affected by any of your Cat 1 limitations. So we'll take you back over here and we will show you the loadout we're running right now. So this is where a lot of people are going to look at it and go, well, wait a minute, that's off of some weird stuff. But everything that I am running here, make sure I'm actually on the right one here. Yep, this is the free one. So we are currently running up on our 4 weapons. Phaser quad cannon. That is going to be off of the Defiant Tier 4 Defiant ship that's available for dilithium, and you just buy it at any ship vendor in the game. Our Dark Matter Quantum Torpedo Launcher. That is your Discovery rep. Terran Task Force Dual Heavy Cannons. That also is Discovery rep. Phaser Dual Heavy Cannons. That's just a loot drop that's been
Uh,
maxed
uh,
out.
sorry, the Terran Task Force. You
Oh,
mean
sorry,
not
that is off the
Discovery?
Terran. That's off Terran,
Yes.
not Discovery.
Yes.
Very
Okay.
good. Thank you, Sizzle. Phaser Dual Heavy Cannons. That's just a loot drop that's been maxed out. Other options that you can go to are any type of phaser energy weapon on this one. So I went ahead and slotted in Agony Phaser Dual Heavy Cannons. These could be purchased off the exchange relatively inexpensively. Deflector I've chosen is one of the Fleet Colony deflectors. This one's just giving me a little bit of shield restoration, some hull capacity increases, increasing impulse expertise. Very handy when you're flying escorts, raiders, destroyers, things of that nature. You want to increase that maneuverability and that speed. That's going to really help your survivability. Also, you got increased critical hit chances and increased shield penetration, plus a bonus to crit severity and crit chance on the baseline. Impulse engines, I won with what's called the competitive engines. This is out of the competitive reputation. Prevailing innervated. This will basically give me a temporary boost to my flight speed and turn rate and defensive rating, plus an increase in bridge officer cooldowns just for using a firing mode. So I click a firing mode, I get a little speed boost. Gone with the Disco Warp Core and the Tilly Shield. It's kind of a standard thing that a lot of people are sticking with. There's a few different options on the Warp Core, but I pretty much recommend the Tilly Shields for just about any build that you could put together on the DPS side, just because of that little bit that you get for your weapon attacks causing enemy shields to receive increased damage.
And a
Um,
two-piece bonus is very handy for
the two-piece
survivability.
bonus is extremely handy. That's actually why I keep the Warp Core in there, is to get that two-piece bonus. Next one is this is a mission drop, the advanced inhibiting phaser turret, which I forgot which mission.
Isn't that oh, that's reputation. Gamma
Oh yeah,
Task
that is
Force
reputation.
reputation.
Yes, that's gamma rep right there, isn't it?
Yes,
I
because it
believe. Yeah,
says
that's
Gamma
yeah,
Task Force Tier 6
yeah,
reached.
yeah, down there. Gamma Task Force. This is another reputation item. And the first event item that I have on here is going to be the Pavin Proton Beam. This thing is a massive buff to your overall DPS and damage. Basically, this thing has a 33% chance to have a resonance charge. It's a beam that just goes from the ship you hit and hits every ship within 10 kilometers of the previous ship that it hit. So it could potentially hit every target on a map, and all that damage is just magnified from target to target. So experimental weapons, this is Voice of the Prophets. It is off the Bajoran Interceptor. The Bajoran Interceptor is a Phoenix lockbox, so there is the probability of getting it free. I just don't really have any other experimental weapons that I could put in here that aren't paid for. However, any maxed out experimental weapon, as far as level goes, is going to pretty well do a pretty good job for you getting it in there. This is the one I chose. There was an event within the last year where you got an account wide epic token that you could claim once per character on an account. So I went ahead and put this one in here, and it's the only thing that's in here that's going to be off of Phoenix Epic tokens. Running devices, we're running a advanced battery energy amplifier to increase our damage output. Those could be crafted by yourself, or you could purchase them off the exchange, as well as the large engine batteries and the lithium surplus. Phase waveform beacon is off of Home, the Gamma Quadrant mission Home. I put that in here. I like having the little extra swarmers in there. They could be a little distracting for enemies. Take a little bit of focus off of you. They're also really good for increasing your DPS. I've slotted in 4 ISO mags that have been tuned for phasers. Once again, these can be crafted, purchased off the exchange. Number of ways to get these, but they are still 100% free. Console Terran Temporal Disorder. This came off of an event earlier this year. Gets you 4 duplicates of your ship to help take some of that aggro off you. Plus, they do a limited amount of damage. So, next is the M6 computer. This is Cicely. You have to remind me which one this is off of. This is off of the.
This is one. The
It's another
temporal escort.
T4.
I think
Yes,
the temporal
T4
escort.
temporal escort. That's a dilithium ship. Real nice little buff to damage, cooldowns, firing haste, accuracy, and defense. The Pavin crystal battery. This is a buff for the Pavin beam array that I have. It's came with the same event that that one came off of. Next is the subspace fracture tunneling. This is from the summer event's obelisk carrier. The computer-assisted flight algorithms gives you a little bonus to flanking damage, flight speed, and turn rate. And when you pop it, it gives you another bonus to your non-flanking damage to a primary target, a little damage resistance rating, and a little bit of boost to your maneuverability as well. This one down here, the custom power matrix, this comes off of the Ilios, which just launched. In fact, I still got to slot the ability in there on my tray here when we get going. This is a fairly recent one. Very nice little console, gives you little bonuses. It all depends upon where you slot it and all that stuff is the bonus you get. I chose to put it in the tactical slot because slotting it in the tactical slot gives me plus 20 to my engine power, and that just increases my maneuverability. The whole image refractors here. Very rarely do I actually use the whole image refractors as a clicky, but the 20% all damage is pretty nice. Now that is Cat 1 damage, so that can go into your Cat 1 limits. And 2, these are both identical, of the Colony Protomatter Matrix Infusers. These are both off the fleet. So you can get these at the Fleet Colony, and nice little bonuses for both your torpedo and your energy weapons, and it comes in all kinds of varieties and flavors. And then my hanger pets that I chose are the Todouge Fighter Squadron. Always go with the squadrons over anything else. Unlockable by just buying the Todouge carrier off of for dilithium out of any ship vendor in the game.
And always take the blue version. Do not buy the
Yes.
more advanced version. They do less damage.
Yes, you want the micro photon torpedoes because they fire them a lot. So as far as stations go on this, I've decided for the Intelligence Team 1 and Ionic Turbulence on the intelligence spots. Intelligence Team 1 gives you a little bit of a stealth buff. Basically makes it more difficult for especially larger enemies to hit you because they can't see you. Ionic Turbulence, make them get out of there. That's the old Mokai trick right there. If you've ever been fighting Mokai, all of a sudden your engines just scramble and get you out of there. As far as my tactical commander seat goes, I've gone with Concentrate Firepower 1. That gets you a free torpedo volley from friendly ships when you fire torpedoes. Torpedo Spread 2. I've gone with Suppression Barrage on a scatter volley build because this will actually cause any targets that are hit by your weapons fire, and it doesn't matter if it's from your primary weapons or from your pets. It slows down their engines, uh, gives them a decrease in their damage output, and makes it harder for them to hit you as well by killing their accuracy, and just makes it easier for your scatter volley to basically just tear them apart. And then obviously Scatter Volley 3, which is the cornerstone of any Scatter Volley build. Chemosite Lace Weaponry 1 can be purchased off the exchange. Attack Pattern Beta 1, and then Emergency Power to Engines, and Emergency Power to Weapons 2. I got a couple more uncon triggers down here with the Tractor Beam and Jam Targeting Sensors, and then Photonic Officer for my Bridge Officer cooldowns. And I'll
And
click
for
in.
those that are not familiar with what you mean by an uncon trigger.
Unconventional systems. Yes, let me get back into that. That's actually in my trait. So hold
Sometimes
on.
it's difficult to remember that
Yep.
these
Mhm.
abbreviations and things we use, some people
Yep.
may not know, especially if they're
So
fairly new to the game.
unconventional systems.
If you have any questions, like I said, you can
Mhm.
feel free to reach out or leave a comment on the YouTube video or Twitch, and we will
Yes.
respond.
So yeah, absolutely. Unconventional systems. This is it is a Lobby trait that is purchasable through the exchange. And this one basically is the it reduces the recharge of universal consoles by 7% for using different control abilities. So things like tractor beam, jam targeting sensors, gravity wells on that aspect, um, certain intelligence abilities like I guess intelligence team can do that. Also, the ionic turbulence is considered that. They all contribute to the reduction of your bridge officer ability cooldown. So, like I said, I love having those bridge officer abilities as low as possible so I can trigger them as often as possible.
Thank you, Tim.
So definitely have the
Yes.
uncon triggers in there. So I'll bring up real quick here. The last one is my bridge officers. Bring up my roster. And for this one, it's nothing too difficult. The first one I've got is a 3 energy weapon officers that offer a chance for stacking crit severity buff on firing energy weapons. So that just increases the amount of crit damage that you're doing for each one. Down here is the emergency con hologram. This is a Phoenix token. I believe it's an ultra rare. This one allows you to recharge your evasive maneuvers with the use of emergency power to engines. So once your evasive maneuvers has run its course, and I'll show you here. It's got a 7 seconds to run on that. So once it's run its course and it goes into cooldown at 45 seconds, as soon as I pop my emergency power to engines, gives you a quick 3 second, and boom, it's available to you again. So it allows you to increase that maneuverability, increase that damage resistance, and keep running and gunning when you can. Quartermaster for recharge reduction on batteries. I'm very battery centric in my builds, especially my scatter volley builds. I like to keep batteries up and running. And a photonic studies scientist, which reduces the recharge time of photonic abilities, including my photonic officer. So the more I can keep that up, the more my bridge officers are available for their skill base. But that's pretty much the build I have in a nutshell. Done a little bit of limited testing on it. We're running ISC. I wouldn't say it's semi-supported, but with a decent group of players running ISC, which is Infected Space on Elite. This one was running a DPS of around 211,000. We're running through Wanted solo on this on
Is
Elite
that
at around 3.5 to 4 minutes.
sorry? Is that with your torpedo off auto fire?
No, that is with the torpedo on auto fire.
Close your window.
It's off again. I've been having that problem lately. I don't know why
That
it keeps
that
taking
is
that off auto
that
fire.
that is
So,
that is a common problem with the
mm,
Discovery Quantum Torpedo.
mm-hmm.
It will go off auto fire for some reason.
randomly.
Yep.
Yes, so please watch
So,
out for that.
so a couple things that I will note when I do my parses. One, you can see over here on my screen on the right hand side underneath my mini map, I do have a live parser up, so I'm able to track in real time how my performance is. It also keeps track of combat time.
I need to do that.
It's fun to have. It's really fun to have, and you just get those instant results when the match is over. You
S-
can just look at it and go, "Here's how everybody did."
So from
Um,
which software is that from? Just so that
that is
they know.
from what is the Star Trek Online Combat Meter, STO Combat Meter.
All right.
So you could still get the software for that for free, but unfortunately, it's no longer available to upload to the DPS League. That's been moved over to Oscar. Um, I
I
do still
think
use
I
Oscar to read
f-
parses.
I think Oscar has an option to have a window on your screen to show the.
It does. It does have a real time parser available. It's personal preference. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just not a big fan of its appearance on the screen. It's a little harder to read. I just like how simplistic this one is. It's a little older, a little a lot simpler. So I use this one for just tracking just tracking the parsers in real time. But all my uploads and all of my deep dives into the statistics that come in the parsers is all done in Oscar. So that's a little different here and there. I will let you guys know one thing though. I do use macros. Um, so I have some clicky abilities that are quick, just quick buttons to launch as needed. But most of my bridge officer abilities are perfectly synced to maximize performance for damage and maneuverability. So maneuverability is key. Be able to get out of a situation. I do a lot of parking and shooting, but I need to be able to move quickly. So I keep abilities available for that to happen at just a moment's notice, just to get out of a situation before I go boom. Because the Sissel will tell you, you get 0 DPS if you die.
That is my personal opinion.
So that's his
If,
personal
if I
opinion.
if I understand your bars quickly, 10 and 9 would
Mm-hmm.
be your macro bars, right?
Yep, those are my macro bars,
Yep.
10 and 9. That way they're not associated with any quick click numbers or anything like that. And bar 2 down here is actually on a macro as well, but I don't use the control key when I'm playing, so I leave that there. 8 is non-periodic clickies, just one. Maybe I'll hit them once or twice in a mission. I kind of use Nimbus Pirate Distress Call as a pseudo heal. They just as soon as they warp in, they just start hitting you with hazard emitters, healing your hull. So I kind
Yes,
of use those as a quick heal.
and extend shields.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Also,
they have saved my ass a couple
mm-hmm.
of times.
Yep. Same thing with the shield capacitor. Um, Tactical fleet, it's got I believe a 3 minute cooldown. Plus, you can't use it if somebody else has already got it active. Um,
But that can be reduced if you have the personal space trade, right?
yes, it can be reduced. Um, Here's something most people don't know: your hanger pets. If you right click on a hanger pet, it'll put it into automatic, so you never have to touch it again once you start the mission. So it'll launch your hanger pets, and it'll just continue to launch them without you having to do anything. So as your hanger pets are killed, it'll automatically respawn when the timer resets. And then my flashbang, the good old Beacon of Kalos, which I believe is available on as a Phoenix token prize now. You could get that with the Phoenix tokens. So with the Phoenix event coming out right now, absolutely do that. So and then Tray 2 is also on a macro. It runs in cycles. I got to, you know, obviously I pop my batteries first because it'll buff everything that comes after it. I've got some of my active space traits going over here on the right side. I leave those up to personal preference, what you think does best for you. And then the bottom is all individual clickies. I actually have to come down and click these buttons if I want them to do anything. None of it goes automatically.
How old fashioned.
So yeah.
And I'm joking. I click almost everything.
Yes,
It's not,
likewise.
some people do. Some people do. And I think if you're running more of a science build, running that EPG, I think having a limited spam bar and more clickies is probably the better way to go. But when you're running for DPS, you need those things just constantly. As soon as it's available, it needs to come right back up.
Yes.
And I chase DPS, so that's just my build. And this, like I said, this is a free to play build put together with a little bit of grind, a little bit of effort. Suggestions quickly. So to grind, you get your EC. Run Tour the Galaxy on as many characters as you can a day. It's a daily per character, not per account. So it usually pays between about 1 to 1.5 million EC per time you run it. And then sometimes there's even bonuses that go along with it that it can increase that cap. I also, multiple characters. Refine as much dilithium per character as you can a day, and just send it to your primary tune. I don't condone farming bots or anything like that. But if you're playing and you're getting some dilithium on a tune that you're not going to be using, there's nothing wrong with sending that dilithium to a character that will use it. So,
Excellent.
but I'm going
Excellent.
to leave it at
Perfect.
that. Turn the floor back over to the stream host, Strom Gold,
Well, thank you,
and
Timper.
you guys.
Do you want to run something and just test it and see what we're doing, or you want to do that afterwards?
We could do that now if you like.
Yeah, like I said, I
I'll end my recording there. I mean, I don't think it's. Yeah, I'll end it right here, and I'll do another one for the other build.